Community Press Office was set up in 2002 in the East Marsh, but primarily to serve all the communities, deprived communities of North East Lincolnshire. And originally we were based in 8 wards. As we've progressed, we have become, I think, more an East Marsh organisation, but we do serve other communities too. We've got a magazine that goes out into the West Marsh, serves that community, and one for Immingham as well. And we also do a young people's publication called Vox, which serves the entire region. Big society for me is the guy who comes out of his house when there's 4 foot of snow and goes across the road and clears the snow out of his elderly neighbour's drive and makes sure that she's got access to get out to the car or the shops or anything else. I think it's doing things within the community that we've perhaps expected the local authority to pick up the bill for. And I think it's very interesting that we are going to have to do those things. I think that, you know, why shouldn't we pick up the litter on our own streets? We're the ones that put it there. Why shouldn't we dig our own cars out in order to get to work in the morning? I've never understood the mentality that we expect everybody to help us all the time. Big society, I think, is about us giving something back, which means that the taxpayers' money, if you like, which might have been spent on, let's say, picking up litter, okay, can be spent on something which we see as more vital. But going back to where I see ourselves in partnership working, I think that's crucial. And that will also be crucial for big society to work, because what we've got to say is that these services have got to continue. You know, we're not the NHS, we're a media company that tries to help communities out, but we will have opportunities to pick up work because we are prepared to work differently, to work with different people and different organisations, and to provide our expertise in order to make sure that there are people out there who still get the skill set they deserve. I mean, we've just been involved and we're coming towards the end of it now with a programme called Inspiring Communities, which has been run around Whitgift School. And the whole point of that was that there are so few role models that they see locally that make them aspire to be anything different than perhaps where they've been with their parents and their grandparents. So we've tried to pull people back into Whitgift, former pupils who've gone on to move out of the area to get good jobs, who've perhaps come back into the area and started to make a difference. And I think that the whole idea of the funding, inspiring and communities sort of together, is exactly what an organisation like CPO Media has been trying to do since 2002. Because unless we actually inspire people, they will never want to change, and if they want to change, inevitably change won't happen. And what we need is a sustainable long-term plan. So what we've tried to do is to say, well, we know that some of our funding will last 2 years, some of it will last 3 months, some of it will last weeks. You know, we're turning around small projects now, but whatever we can pull out of those contracts, whatever we can pull out of the funding to go into a sustainable pot, means that we can have a longer term vision for the town and for the people of the town, for the area, for the boroughs that we serve, and perhaps regionally. And I think we've got to start looking further afield. We've got to change our aspirations, we've got to change our horizons, and we've got to get people in Grimsby and Cleethorpes and Immingham to look beyond the edge of the street, to look beyond the edge of their ward. So people in the East Marsh are aware that there are opportunities elsewhere in North East Lincolnshire, and people in North East Lincolnshire are aware that, hang on a second, you know, South Bank of the Humber could be an incredibly exciting place over the next decade, the next 2 or 3 decades, that there are going to be new opportunities. We've got to pull together to say, look, you know, we are serving the residents of this town, of this ward, and what are we going to do together to make sure that they have got the right skills, the right aspirations, the right advice, the right opportunities, because only then will we change things.